I am ecstatic as we head on into that matchup, right? We got two phenomenal teams waiting on the other side. It's going to be a matchup tonight in the TCU between the two lovely teams known as FPCC versus Haskell. And I'm looking forward to it, right? Both these two teams having a relatively rough start. Haskell, of course, coming into this with a resounding, let me find it, believe 3-0 record, right? So they're really looking to pull out all the stops, and we'll see whether or not they are inevitably going to be able to make that happen, as they look good, right? They look very strong, and we'll see whether or not they are going to be able to continue it. On the other side, it is a little bit of a difficult situation when you are currently at that 1-1 record. After playing 2 games, they haven't had a whole ton of time to get their footing. However, HINU, they've played 3. They have that experience going behind them. And we'll see whether or not they will be able to kind of skyrocket that to be able to showcase some dominance here tonight. Yeah, I mean, it gives them that opportunity to at least, like, know when to start. Obviously, you could try and go with something like the taunt or just kind of go off of contact, but, you know, it's fine. They're going to look to play their own way, and we'll see what they do end up making happen, right? We do see some ranged attacks already coming out, trying to poke and prod, unable to really make anything too heavily committed just yet. And, you know, the lack of percentage gained is going to be something that they're going to look to leverage as they make a relatively big lead, even bigger, taking 78%. And HINU, they're looking good. They're looking strong, and they're starting to get a little bit antsy, perhaps, as they stay center stage. Let's see what they can find. Oh, a nice 100 as they send them out. Yeah, playing a... Oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe a little bit of lag you coming through. It's unfortunate to say the least, right? We won't be able to get the result of this battle. Hopefully, the teams will be able to give that over to us. But on that last stock that we saw getting lost, right? It was a situation where when you looked towards what Hino was kind of trying to make happen, it was really rough, right? They kind of started to play a little bit of a slower tempo, giving that adaptation the possibility of being allowed, right? And if you're Haskell, you can't be doing that. You need to make sure that you keep a fast-paced game and continue applying that pressure. As soon as you give them space to work with, that's when it's going to start to really crumble. And if I'm on this FPCC roster, the main thing I'm going to be saying to myself here is, okay, how are we going to be trying to utilize this to our advantage? We just had a massive loss at 100%, and we got shut down. We instantly bring it back, and now it's 2-2. Can we put them to one stock? Even if we can't win, being able to dwindle these stocks down is exactly what you're looking for. As it does seem like we are done with the game, we'll see who was the inevitable victor. So, all right, this does give us confirmation. S Corps, I'm not sure if we know which one that is, but they were the victor in that matchup. So, at least that is something to go off of. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it has been looking good, right? We're gonna be seeing them coming back in. Hopefully, we'll be getting a good kind of understanding of what did end up happening in that matchup. It is a situation, right, where FPCC they actually changed around their starting lineup right before we came into this game, right? They were originally planning on dropping in Zach first, but now they're actually taking him as their third player to be brought in. So they're starting out with Jason, who they had as their secondary, moving then on to Jared, who was their closer. And as Jared moves on to the second position, Zach will be the one to follow. So we might actually be seeing Jared coming in next. Not totally sure just yet. But what's interesting, right, is they took out Wasey and added in Shiari as their fourth member. So we will see. But it is actually going to be, at least according to what our lovely coaches have told us, it's the FPCC that did lose, and they actually got two stocks. So that is rough, and we're going to be seeing the Falco coming back on in, right? It's the Rob to match. We'll see if they're going to be able to find success. Yeah, both players though up to 100. Whoever's going to be able to take this next hit should likely be able to make something happen. And that's the kick. Oh man, nice side R or side air, not R. And they're going to be able to deliver the final punchline to be able to put themselves back up into the driver's seat. Now, this Rob, a necessity is to take one stock, right? Maybe you're going to like to take two, but at least finding one for your troubles. It's a real good position if you can make sure that they aren't able to get away with nothing. And yeah, they don't let him get away scot-free. They take one, make him even closer to falling down. Can they deliver that final one? We'll have to wait and see. But as 70% does get built up, it is going to be looking really, really difficult to be able to win out against this stock meter. A strong juggle will be able to put them back up into the driver's seat, and ideally we'll have to just kind of keep waiting in wait because we do have to get K-Wing their audio back. That is really, really unfortunate. She's hasn't been heard now that we realize that. That's actually really, really sad. So ideally, we'll just have to get that audio input added. And after that, we will be back up and with a little bit higher quality, ideally. So here we go. We do see this Captain Falco consistently putting up these numbers, right? Already one stock remains, however, two phenomenal starts, right? Absolutely looking like a player to beat, shutting down the Rob, shutting down their first opponent. We didn't really see a whole ton of that game. I really thought that that would go the distance down to the final stock, but yep, they were able to close it out in two by the looks of it. So phenomenal work coming out from this roster already. And if I'm on the side of, oh, it seems like you might be back, and
I am back. I'm checking in. I'm making sure. I just didn't go into the audio input capture settings and confirm what microphone I wanted to be the audio input capture. It just said default, and silly me for thinking that my fancy little microphone was the default. Unfortunate that we went through a couple matches with me just saying nothing. That's unfortunate. I don't know what else to say to that. My apologies. I am to pull back the curtain a little, I am doing a little bit of double duty here of producing and also casting, but also I'm not even at my home setup. I'm here in a laptop in a basement, just sitting here casting as the good Lord intended.
Well, personally, I do have to disagree on one of those things. We've gone through a couple matches when it really hasn't even been two, right? We got kicked out of the first one, and we only have really been able to see like maybe 1.5. So it isn't the biggest deal in the world. We're gonna get back on into it though, as we do get to see the next couple things coming on out. It does seem as if they're sticking to FD. I could be wrong. I could be corrected. However, they did not do bans for game number 2, so I am just going to speculate on that being the case. And we'll see what does end up happening as we do go back on into the matchup. FD once more, bringing out the newest addition to the roster. We'll see if this Captain Falco will be able to make any more magic, or whether or not these heroics will be cut short.
I mean, even if the heroics are cut short, I mean, you have to be real happy about just what's gone on, what's happened with this Falco, and the skill that they've shown. I mean, taking 6 stocks so far for 2. If you get even 1 more, you're over the moon. But even if you get hit and you're down and you're done, you're going to be completely happy with the magic that this Falco has worked. I mean, at this point, gone through half of the opposing FPCC, barely even seems breaking a sweat. Just perfect so far, and I'm pretty excited to see how far we can go with this.
As so in an ideal scenario, we'll see whether or not this princess will be able to make anything happen, but it's certainly seeming like the answer will be a strong, resounding no. Kick to the face, brought up to 140, dashing forward, but it's a nice charge up, sending him flying.
And I mean, at this point, you know, you're pretty okay and happy for Falco to abuse your speed, to just keep going and keep playing the hit her, get in and get out game. And so far it has been working a treat. Barely recovers there with the up B, but the fire is a pretty versatile recovery, has been since the days of Melee. And so now with another stock down, you're just, I mean, how do you even recover from this at this point for FPCC? You're looking at a brutal path to even getting evened up at this point.
Certainly going to be difficult. We'll have to keep biding our time, seeing whether or not that second stock will be depleted before HINU does get brought down. Seeming like the answer will be no, as the percentage does go over what the Captain Falco was packing, and it is very, very rough. Grab off stage, looks to finish. There's the trade.
The side B pretty good. Oh, the side B is gonna do it. Gonna finally rid FPCC of the demon that was that Falco, and finally get us to a new player for this entire series, because we have just been going on about this same Falco the entire time.
This Falco has been an absolute nuisance, a thorn in the side, and it has, there's just no punish. And consistently, they have just been controlling the matchup. The tempo is being set by them, and this dynamic positioning where they just they're thoroughly pushing themselves to the limit, and this play has just been absolutely outstanding. I cannot wait to see what they're able to cook up next, right? This is the first time they have been able to 3-stock as they take it to the peach, and it's really just looking good. Ideally, I'd like to see some mix-up in the roster, right? I would like to see that final stock get depleted just so that we do get a little bit more diversity within who's playing within set number 1 at least. But I have no complaints. We're seeing some phenomenal play coming in from them, and it's showing, right, K-Wing, why this team... Oh, they did get depleted. Oh, I didn't realize they got defeated. Yeah, there's a side B. Sorry. Wow. Okay, I am actually just not... All right. I am not locked in. But yeah, this is great, right? We do see HINU down at 1 stock, right? So they are going to have to completely come back from the depth. Oh, it's 2 stocks. Wow, I am tired. All right, I'm wow. So the Palutena comes out, right? The Palutena is here. They have a lot of range to their kit. They're going to look to try and play this from a distance. Actually going to be making a little bit of a different idea, really going in close range. And they're going to take advantage completely of this maybe unfamiliar matchup, right? Traditionally, the Palutena will...
Oh, Cherry, I seem to have lost you there. But, oh, I seem to have lost connection completely, actually, for just a moment. Hopefully back in a second. But...
Oh, man, that's rough.
Yeah, it looks like we did lose connection for just a moment, but we are right back into it with another big hit here from the side of HINU. They did not do what I asked them to and stay on the right side. So now I'm trying to figure out which side. That's okay.
Well, it is a situation where we are now going to be seeing, I believe that's what, the HINU roster at, I want to say 6 stocks, but I could be wrong, because I believe the Peach won that last one. I think I have terrible memories. You can tell. I am not. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So ideally, that's gonna send another character in. So what the matchup does look like, right? The Palutena putting in the work, however, right? It's a really interesting character where the DLCs certainly do have a little bit of extra power. I don't think anyone's denying that, right? You look towards the Kazuya, you look towards the Steve, the Palutena as well. It's kind of slept on compared to the other DLCs like the Joker even in there. But she does still have a lot of impact when it comes to taking engagements, right? When you have that bit of range coming in from the staff, you do get to do a little bit more compared to what the melee characters might offer, where they do have to really get up and close and personal. A little bit more diversity in regards to how that Palutena is going to be able to function. And I'm just kind of waiting to see how they are going to be able to continue that, right? Whether or not it's in this next match or whether or not it's going to be in that next set. But it is the Kirby to come out. There's a lot, and I do mean a lot of opportunity for this Kirby to make something magical.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And I think for the side of HINU, who's now on 9?
Yeah, they'd be at 9. So I believe that's going to be your left one. And then the other one is down to 3. So it is a little bit rough, right? You got that counting. I passed math class, maybe not as much as I would have liked to. Statistics is tough, let me tell you.
Truly.
But, yeah, I actually have a test tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to. But in the meantime, yeah, this Kirby, they're probably not going to be passing this test of dealing with the Palutena.
Yeah, I mean, these down Bs can help you out, but the problem is with that down B is that if you evade it, it's absolutely proper easy to just run it down and just do exactly that. Charge up a move, wait for the Kirby to exit that invulnerable form, and capitalize. It's all she wrote, and so far, just the dodge and combo into the grab, the charge move, anything you want is there for you. You just camp the spot of the landing.
It's a little bit rough, right? If you're this Palutena, you're trying to evade that as it's a situation where, I mean, I am a bit of a Kirby entrepreneur myself, enjoying the character, and a lot of the Kirby special moves are just really, really unimpactful compared to what you're looking for, right? The sword, it's a similar situation where you get so much end lag after dropping it in. Same with the box. It's just so difficult. But when it works out, when you're able to pull off that magic, TPing in, going for a shield, nice block in, there's the grab, putting them off a ledge, but the comeback is real. Can they make a downbeat? Answer no. There's the second stock down.
Yeah, I mean, that was just brutal. And right now, HINU up 9 stocks to 1. I don't see much of any way to come back for FPCC. You need to see a miracle performance, not just in this game, but in the upcoming 2 for even a chance at a comeback for FPCC. And right now, this Palutena just seems to have the Kirby's number. There goes the real first stock taken we've seen in quite a bit off this Palutena, but it's going to be answered right away. That'll be set 1. Going to Haskell University.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a hater of the hammer. I cannot lie. It has, I believe, like top 3 most like end lag out of any ability, and it doesn't do nearly enough damage for it to be something you're going to be able to make reliable. But in that situation, they were able to kind of use it to its fullest capabilities, barely charging it, hitting him right in the face. Phenomenal work, taking the stock, taking the set. Right off the back of it. So it is a little bit it's not honestly, that might not be, yeah, I don't think that is the most one-sided game we've seen so far within the EGF of this school year, or at least of this semester. No. I think just yesterday we saw like one person go through a whole roster. But yeah, it was very one-sided. We saw, what was it, the Captain Falco really pulling out all the stops. And then once they did need to pull out the second player, that being the Palutena, only losing one of their own at the very end, they had a real possibility in that matchup of being able to go 3 stock, right? If they didn't get hit by the hammer, if they played a little bit more on that distant edge, I really do see them being able to make it happen. So it is certainly looking like the HINU roster is going to be really, really powerful coming into this, right? You look towards this current standings, they are ranked number 2, but it is solely based off of tiebreakers, right? They are tied at 3-3 with their opponents, 6 set wins, 0 set ties. They've been looking very good. And that's really just goes to show, right? They play phenomenally. Now, the opposition that they're going against, right? Not the worst team that they could have had, not the best team, but when you are playing against the mighty Mykonox, when you're playing against HINU, these are the 2 teams that we're going to be looking towards as those champions of the TCU. These are the 2 teams that we see as the real dominant powerhouses, both being 3-0 with the current season. And HINU, they're looking in form. They're not looking perfect. I certainly could have expected to see a 3-stock coming out from the Palutena, but getting a little bit antsy, perhaps, getting a little bit over exhilarated. It caused that last stock to go away, which, I mean, maybe that's something that we could be seeing the Buffalo Chasers taking advantage of, right? It's not something that really is the biggest issue, but it's these little mistakes, right? These kind of small increments that are going to be kind of piling up, and that's how you can take advantage. That's how you can beat a team ranked above you. That's how you're going to be able to make the upset happen and possibly bring us to a set number 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, important to note is that these teams are not done. I mean, they're looking at a very, this is absolutely doable. The turnaround here is absolutely possible. And I think we've seen a lot of 2-0s so far in TCU and also in EGF just in general. But I think there's hope. There's absolutely hope for these teams when you're talking about a bit of a disadvantage for a moment. There's a lot of hope for these teams. And I think that, like, you get a lot of doom and gloom when you drop first set, especially in a first to 2. You only have one more chance. But the thing is that it's not some giant reverse sweep. Like, you have to claw your way through 5 to 3 or 4 games. It is truly just you have to win 2 sets. That's not a very tall task. It's the advantage of first to 2 format like this, is that you can very quickly have it turn on its head like that. And I think that that's absolutely possible here for FP.
I certainly agree. Right now, the only issue is going to be the fact that, as we can kind of note, right, the TCU is a relatively newer addition. It is a newer league, and that means that these players, these teams, they don't have as much experience having to come back from these deficits. They don't have as much experience having to have that mental resilience, and that can go a long way, right? If you have that experience behind you, if you have that elderly kind of bonds with the rest of your team, realizing, yes, we can make this happen, it can really go a long way. And especially, I could be wrong. However, I would kind of assume that this might even be one of the biggest hindrances, right? When you kind of consider the Fort Peck Community College, those last 2 words are very important, right? Community college, a lot of these players are only going to be going here for 2 to 3 years. That means that they won't have as much experience playing with the rest of the team. And that could honestly be one of the reasons that we do see a little bit of a weaker performance compared to what HINU is putting out. Is, you're there, unless you're like transferring out, those are like, if you're going for that bachelor's degree, you're going for 4 years.
That you are. And we've got our next up. We've got for FPCC, we got Jason on the side of that Samus. We got Jaden coming in on the Lucas. So players we haven't seen much out of, especially on the side of HINU, as we wait for that 9:45 as they get set and get going.
As they're getting back on in, it's interesting, right? 2 completely new characters joining the fray. Lucas, a relatively strong town and city-based character, and they're already putting in the damage, but the Samus not going to really give them too much room to work with. Samus really good for their grabs, so I'd like to see that kind of taken advantage of, but right now they're really abusing this flamethrower to be able to create such a deficit within that percentages. But standing center court, they're taking it really, really far, bringing the comeback back, and HINU is going to be able to bring that stock lead, or stock percentage lead.
Yeah, a great freeze off the side. Wow.
Phenomenal work as they find that first stock, really looking like this Samus might be the player to make it come back immediately, though, as 113%. They don't care that they lost that first stock. It's about the here, it's about the now, K-Wing. But, a nice grab could possibly just keep this Lucas in the driver's seat.
Yeah, a good grab could be the determining factor here. But these freezes have been really scary. It's been this Lucas's big play for the offstage options. But it's not really that much of a change in your trajectory, as a big hit will take the Lucas off the side. But the PK freeze, baby.
It's looking good. A nice charge up. We'll be able to find something, but this Lucas just completely taking advantage over this final destination. And they're putting it up 70%. A masterclass performance in the works. The baseball bat won't be able to make the connection, but the side B will. They drive right on in. Oh, it's absolutely diabolical. You can't be allowing this.
There's no recovery. You can't recover it. That's it. That's going to be the Lucas taking it. And I mean, what a nasty way of ending it there. with the PK Thunder, goes up, hits the Samus, and then on top of it, then comes down, slams over to the side. A nasty little way of finishing the game there.
Real, right? They completely took advantage in sending him off stage. The Lucas clearly going to be a player who will be an absolute powerhouse within this league, within this matchup especially. Going down only one stock towards that end after a nice charge up on that down. Instantly going to be neutralized, however, afterwards as they pull it back. Lucas just dominating with each and every ability, right? Whether or not it was the PK Fire, whether or not it was the PK Ice, completely showcasing their brilliance. The bat was a little bit less impactful, right? They kind of had a couple swings and a miss, weren't able to really fight as much as one would have initially hoped for with that. But that's not really what they're known for, right? That's kind of one of their more lackluster abilities that doesn't really send as much presence, and it kind of has to force out as much respect as something like their ice, like their electricity, that's really going to be able to kind of make your opponent watch out for you, right? They know, even if I get them off stage, I have to finish the deal. I have to seal it because there's still so much opportunity for a Lucas recovery. And we didn't really even have to see that, right? There wasn't a whole ton of times where the Samus was able to kind of push them to the limit, take this Lucas, bring him off stage, make something happen. And that's kind of an issue, right? You got to be proactive. You got to be able to force your opponent down. And if you can't, that's when it starts to get really, really detrimental.
Yeah, and now we've got face off between that Lucas of last time going up against a Game & Watch. What do we think about this specific matchup here?
I really hope that there's a little bit more control over the character than what we've kind of seen so far tonight, because a lot of these players seem to be a little bit like not as in tune with the characters, right? They might be a little bit more towards that fluctuating side rather than kind of a one trick towards some of the characters that they've chosen and elected to play towards. But if they can have a good control over the Game & Watch, it certainly could be a character that will put them up and maybe even take this whole series, right? Because Game & Watch, such a carry potential on this champion, right? If you want to win, Game & Watch is really a character that you should master, as you have a decent amount of range, you have a decent amount of verticality that you can play towards, as you have the glider? Air? I don't know what you'd call it. Parachute? Yeah, that's going to be able to help you in so many aspects, but I just need to see them be able to make it happen, and right now, that's not really the case, right? Some good edge guarding, and they're absolutely following up. That's 90% already gathered. Nice grab, going to be followed up with some grenades, which I kind of loomed towards earlier, right? The range that you have as a Game & Watch can be really lethal, but it's all going to have to come down to them. Will they be able to secure it? It seems like the answer may be yes, but that's the recovery I had mentioned, right? It's so good, K-Wing.
Wow, and the PK freeze off the bat. I mean, yeah. And that's the thing, that recovery does have a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it, it's a really powerful tool that you can use not just for its recovery option, but its ability to really send you across stage and close some distances as well, if you should want. It's a aggressive option, but by golly, if that PK freeze isn't working like a treat.
Absolutely sending it in, and it's been working so well for them. HINU putting their opposition down to one final stock in this Game & Watch, having no answer to the domination that's been put forward. Oh, jumping right above them, goes in with some PK Fire, unable to make the connection, but as the Game & Watch tries to close the gap, they go for a shield, able to neutralize the PK Fire, but sending so much forward. There's the grab, off stage they go, hit by the ice, and it ends how it started. It's HINU finding so much success.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here with just how much we've seen, how we saw this exact same story start out in set one of HINU jumping out to a early win with a dominant performance. The only thing we can ask is, are we going to see a Peach? Are we going to see someone play spoiler? Are we going to see someone who can put their foot down and say, no, we are not going to just let this player number 1 bulldoze their way through the rest of the team, because right now I don't know what you can do against this at this point.
It is really been looking like this is a one-side affair left in the hands of this Haskell roster, right? Can they finish it off, send us home packing? That'll be the question, as it's looking rough, right? We're down to 2 more players, and I believe that, I mean, assuming that the FPCC didn't change their order at all, or didn't change their players at all. They didn't say they were changing their players at all. So it does kind of make me think that they're going to be running the same roster, and it really just begs the question, who is going to have that chance to be able to take HINU down a couple stocks, right? Who is going to be the one to be able to make that carry potential happen and put it into fruition? Because right now, it seems as if HINU is unstoppable.
Yeah, and I think they, like, the Bowser, an interesting character, and I think one that can do some good. I think he's got the super armor. I think he's got a really good opportunity to do some good work. Not like that, though. Got to be very careful.
Oh, I was really hoping the Bowser would literally just, like, SD and send him with them. Unfortunately, that was not the case, right? If you can just kind of take these stocks, that's what you're looking for, right? This player's being an absolute thorn in your side, and you need to take them down at all costs. But the Bowser is going to be sent off map through the ice, and they're now down to their final stock.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, wow, what do you even do? You've lost 2 stocks in such quick fashion, and it seems like you really can't do much off stage. And you just get hit off, you get frozen, and there's just nothing you can do. I mean, that'll almost get you there, but there's just nothing else to say. I mean, as soon as you go off stage, it just seems like you get hit with a PK freeze. You're gonna get thrown. You're gonna get almost get PK frozen. But I mean, at this point, with all of the end lag of Bowser's moves, it just seems like the PK freeze is inevitable. And that'll be another big win for the Lucas as HINU starts rolling towards a full run from this Lucas, only dropping 1 stock so far.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? If you're in this unfamiliar territory where you are playing against a character who has so much range and it does so much CC, forces you to stay in one spot, kind of makes you in a little bit of a difficult situation, and you don't have that real experience playing behind some kind of opposition like this, it's hard to make these wins come your way. That's something that you really do need to take time to make happen, and if you can't polish and refine your play against each and every character, it can really cause a thorn in your side. And I would really just, I want to see some kind of adaptation, right? We didn't really see a lot from that in that Bowser's play. They kind of consistently were just going in, trying to hit the slam, force him off, and that's not a bad plan, right? It's an idea that can work, and sometimes we do see it work even at the highest level of Super Smash Bros. However, when your opposition reads that, when they're able to counter that, that's when it becomes a difficulty. That's when you have to swap it up, right? Try playing maybe a little bit of a slower tempo, right? Slow down the game and try and run something that's maybe going to be a little bit more guaranteed to be able to deal the damage, right? Guaranteed to be able to put the nail in the coffin. And unfortunately, we really did not see that from that Bowser. Now it is down to the final player to make something happen for Fort Peck Community College. Can they deal the damage? Can they make the impossible possible? I believe I saw that, and we'll see whether or not my eyes do deceive me. Answer is no. Bayonetta will come out, and the Lucas will have one final challenger to determine whether or not they're going home or sending it to a third set.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, it's looking like HINU might be sealing the deal. If you want to see FPCC continue this fight, you're going to have to see a 3-stock here. Under no uncertain terms, if there's any hope for you, you cannot see this Bayonetta losing a set. The only chance you've got is 3-stock upon 3-stock. You can't get hit by these PK freezes. That's what has taken down so many of your teammates. You can't lose to them, and so far, we're seeing some good evasion. The quick moves of Bayonetta, we've been seeing some good play of it so far, but I need to see more of it against this Lucas. because he is a monster at controlling the offstage so far and just at catching sloppy recoveries, or not even sloppy, that seems too mean, just any recovery that isn't perfect, on the nose, on the dot, evades the ledge, evades the PK freeze, and evades an end lag. I mean, it's just so hazardous trying to land against this guy. You have to be perfect, and so far we've already lost that one stock.
Yeah, it's really just been such good capitalization on these mistakes, and oh, it's a
Nasty.
really creative way of using that electricity to slam yourself against them. And honestly, I would like to see more of that, right? They've been really, really good so far. And there's the grab, sending him off stage. Can the ice make that final hit? Oh, no, not even needed, right? They're going to hit him mid-air, sending it their switch to the left, and that might just put him in the coffin, as there's 142% gained and trying to make something happen. But some good evasion does come out, able to dodge, weave everything in the word, but not elusive enough to get away from the ice. Down to the final stock, and it's the Bayonetta who will really need to come out huge.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, you are just in the corner, 1-1 now, final stock. But that's the thing, is that HINU's got a bank of 3 players itching to fight. FPCC's got this one last stock, and don't you do it. Don't you do it to me. No! Nintendo!
That's really, really sad.
The words I want to say are not appropriate for broadcast, so I will refrain at this moment. But ooh, the rage. Ooh, the rage. I'm gonna keep us on this, I'm keeping us on this screen because it was one stock left. We will see in just a moment. Esports on the left, by the way, as we know, is that HINU player. So if we see Esports with the 1 next to their name, we know HINU has emerged victorious. But if Dom has that 1 next to their name, we know that we're going to be going on to another match, and that Bayonetta has bought themselves an opportunity for new life. But we've seen the end. We've seen what happens. And that's going to be it. That's going to be a victory for HINU, 10-0. So unfortunate we could not catch the end of it. That net code, oh boy, I'm so angry. But one of these days, if we just keep giving Nintendo enough $1 million, one day they'll program netcode that works. But regardless of that, that was a really incredible play out of that Lucas. A full set sweep off of the back of 1 player and only dropping 2 stocks. You saw really good fundamental play, good edge guarding, good, it was that edge guarding, honestly, was the power that we saw, was just how good he was at making sure these players couldn't land. You know, we didn't see a lot of the bat. We didn't see a lot of, like, the staples of Lucas' play. But, like, the PK freeze, his ability to track where a player was landing was just great. It was incredible. And I think that that was what got them the win today for HINU, for Jaden specifically.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful coming on through for Jaden, as we are likely going to be able to get an interview. So ideally, we will get somebody up in here to spew their talks, maybe share some plans on how they came up here. And I'm so excited. I mean, that was a good game, right? 11-0, really, really dominant, just starting to make you think, right? This Haskell roster is likely gonna be able to make a lot of waves within the TCU, and I just cannot wait. So we're gonna go to a quick little break. We'll be back with our lovely interview here in just a little bit. So ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Don't change that Twitch channel, as we're heading straight on in to an interview in just like 5, maybe 4, maybe 6, maybe 7 minutes. And yeah, we'll see you then.
Oh, that's my line, man. And we are back. Welcome. We've got the one and only Jaden, the Lucas from set number 2. Jaden, welcome to the stream.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, how are you feeling after not just a really impressive victory, but after a full set sweep off on your back right now? You got to be feeling pretty good.
It was definitely pretty exhilarating. I'm still a little bit nervous about it, and I just want to make sure that we're competing just as good when we go to Bismarck.
Yeah, I mean, I got a question. So you said you're still feeling nervous from this, but I gotta ask, right? Because we haven't seen your team on stream a whole ton so far, but was this the first time you've made something like this happen within the TCU?
No, the first week that we played, the team wasn't ready, so we ended up playing 2 weeks, 2 teams on the second week, and then we kind of did the same thing that time, both times actually. So this is the 4th week, I should say. We have a bye week next week, but I think most of us are just really excited to play more and see different characters to fight against and kind of improve our skills a little bit.
So I'm hearing is Jaden is really going to be a player that lots of teams are going to have to watch out for. Now, just to follow up on that, right? The mighty Mykonoks, right? They are currently 3-0. Now, I want to get your thoughts. Right? Have you been prepping to play them, or how has that kind of been looking? Are you scared at all to kind of face such a worthy adversary? Because they seem to be maybe as tough, if not maybe even a little bit tougher, a little bit less tougher than you guys.
Where are they from?
I have no clue. I could not tell you. I just saw that they
haven't-
were 3-0.
I haven't seen them play on stream, so I'm not expecting anything. I'm just excited to see what happens.
It's a phenomenal answer. I love it. And just to end off my side of things, right? You're in college. You're having a time of your life, and outside of esports, right? Just to finish off my part of this interview, what has been your favorite non-esport related moment in college?
That's a great question. There's a lot of great facilities at Haskell School for if you need help with getting into the programs that you're in or getting scholarships. It feels like everybody at Haskell School is willing to help me with my education. So not only is the esports room like a great place to be and hang with my friends, but the whole campus feels like it's facilitating my needs.
That's really awesome. One last question before we close this out. While we're still on the stream, is there anyone that you want to give a thank you, give a shout out to? Anyone that's been particularly helpful, like you were talking a little about it before with your university? Anyone, any names in particular you want to shout out? The floor is yours.
Yeah, my friend Sen on Twitch is SYN_DENSE, and she plays the finals. You should check out her Twitch.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you taking the time, and congratulations for your win.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
You too.
Yes, you too.
All right, well, that was Jaden from HINU, from Haskell Indian Nations University, the victorious university here, taking it 2-0 in a pretty dominant fashion, and looking like, other than the mighty Hinox, they are the team to watch out for in the TCU. That's going to be it for us. I've been Gaming, that's been Cherry, and you all have a great night, and we'll see you all next time for some more exciting esports action here at EGF, whether that's TCU, Mid-South of the Sun Conference. We've got esports all week. So make sure you're keeping track, because you don't want to miss a moment of it. We'll see you later. Goodbye.